I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Hey, lovies. Welcome back to Talks with Her. I am Monique, and I hope that you all are doing amazing. How are you? Like, really, how are you? As you bouncing around in the world today, hearing my voice, taking your moment in, first of all, I want to say I'm so proud of you because you are doing the very fucking best that you can do today and in this moment. And you know what? That's all that's expected of you. Okay? So, I definitely always want to know how you're doing. So, please, please, please remember to follow us on Insta at talkswithher.official. And you can always also email us at talkswithher@exaltedbg.com. That's talkswithher at exaltedbg.com. Okay? Send us your questions, your feedback, things you want to touch on. Send us your stories. I'm definitely going to be opening up some time for some lives in the very near future, as well as some ask Mo kinds of question period. So I want to hear from you, please. Because if you don't send me your questions, what the hell I'm gonna have to answer, right? So you guys send all of your questions in so that we can just start digging into stuff. And don't worry, everything is always one Billy plus a Millie anonymous. I will always, always, always protect your image, your being, and your wounds, as well as your triumphs with my every being. So you do not have to worry about any of that. Nobody gonna know your business. Except for you, when you hear me read your question, you'll know, like, she's talking about me, ow. Anyway, so let's jump right in, right? So last time we were together, we were talking about shame and the ugly side of it. So definitely drop me your feedback because I'm interested to know. Since we were together last, like how have you guys been recognizing shame like in your life and in the life of those that are close to you, i.e., your family, because that is who we are on right now is family, right? And your dynamic with your family. So I'm interested to know how have you guys been seeing the shame come up? Remember, it's like all around us, and it rears its crazy, wild, matted on one side, long, flowy on the other side, head, all because it's completely like it's a complete paradox. Shame is like a complete paradox, but it rears its crazy head in the most unlikely of sources. Watch this. Have you ever been, for those of us that are blessed to have elders, because that's a blessing, right? So, elders, like, of course, your grandparents. If you have great aunts and uncles, not necessarily your parents' siblings, but like your grandparents' siblings, right? Have you ever been watching an elder and you see them in action, right? And like what they're talking about or what they're going through, like what they're demonstrating out to the world, like makes no sense whatsoever. But then you're like, wait, what? Like it's completely fabricated. right? Like it's fake as hell. Okay. So let me give you like a real world example. Say that you're watching one of your elders, let's say, I don't know, just pick on someone, a great aunt or a grandmother, right? And let's say that, she's out, and let's say she's outside. Let's say she's outside of her home, and a neighbor comes by, and she does not actually like this neighbor. Okay, she does not um, care for the neighbor at all. She doesn't want to be friends with the neighbor, any of that, right? But here comes the neighbor, and you just watch her, your elder, watch her like a light switch, like completely like turn on, and she's so polite and nice and just like, perhaps even accommodating and whatever. And like this neighbor could be whatever. She could be like hella annoying, like, weird or like neurotic. Like she could just be whatever, right? But then your elder is just like, oh, okay, yeah, 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 just kind of acting like she likes her, acting like they're friends and it's all cool. And then as soon as the neighbor goes away, your elder is like, oh my God, I do not like her. Oh my God, oh my God. Ooh, why'd she come over here? This and all this and the other. And so you're left going, hold up. Now, consciously, you're like, what the hell? Like, this is crazy. But subconsciously, what your elder just taught you is that, sure, it's okay to, give space, time, and energy to people who you genuinely dislike. As a matter of fact, you should do that, and that's an obligation. Has that ever happened to you? I unfortunately, and that has happened to me on many occasions, and I unfortunately have this very strange disability where I have to speak my mind, okay? And I have to be like, well, wait a minute, I thought you didn't like such a. Now, I may not say it to like in the neighbor's face, but I will definitely be like, hey, aunt, blah, 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 or hey, grandmother, whoever, like, I thought you didn't like such and such, right? Because I just have this need to be real, okay? I don't, all the, like, if I don't like you, you're gonna know I don't care for you. And at the same time, if I love you, you have all of me. You got all my loyalty, everything, whatever. But if I don't like you, I just don't like you, and I'm not gonna start liking you. I'm gonna tolerate you. I'm gonna be cordial with you, but I'm definitely not gonna act like we're friends and let you walk away thinking that we are, and then like turn around and talk shit about you behind your back. Like that's crazy, right? So, when our elders like do stuff like that, especially when we're little people, like as little guys, that teaches us like, oh, okay, I guess I have to accept and absorb things that are not okay with me, right? And then no one stops that energy. Like no one says, you do not accept things that are not okay with you. You are entitled to your feelings and your thoughts, and that is okay. And you're not going to be reprimanded or chastised in any way for having feelings that are inconsistent with, let's say, mine or someone else's, right? That takes like an inordinate amount of like growth and emotional intelligence for an adult to say that to a child. But if we're just being honest, we're talking about our family. So how many of us have families that are not there, right? And then that um is what causes, it's not, excuse me, it's not what causes the shame. We talked about what causes the shame in the last episode. So I sure do hope you was here for that. Because if you wasn't, wow, we went into that thing, right? But so that's what not causes the shame, but it's what perpetuates. It's basically it's what keeps it going, right? It's what puts a magnifying glass on it. Is because nobody ever stops it. So, you know what, in my experience, typically happens? The shame just keeps going on and on and on and on and on until finally one brave little soul will say, I call bullshit. And when that brave little soul says, I call bullshit, things start to change. Maybe not right away, but definitely small increments. in small increments, you start to notice a shift in energy, a shift in atmosphere, right? And you may be the small, brave soul. Here's a quick way, here's a quick litmus test to figure out whether or not you're the brave soul.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
If you are the one that doesn't come around family as much and everybody else seems to be like super close, then you're likely the brave soul. Right? So run it back in a different way. If, let's say, you are headed to, or there's a family gathering being planned, and you become aware of it. Someone calls you, mom, dad, brother, sister, whomever. Someone calls you and is like, hey, we're all getting together, blah, blah, blah. If immediately your first reaction is somewhere in that trauma body, remember we were talking about like the pain in the body that comes up before we actually start expressing the trauma and how trauma gets trapped in our body. If that is your immediate response to the idea, you ain't even got there yet. Okay, this is just the idea. If the idea alone of going around family causes you anxiety, or if it causes that trauma body to like pop up and rear its ugly little head, then you probably are the brave soul, boo boo. Sorry. So actually, that's sorry, not sorry, because it's actually super dope if you are the brave soul. But then here's what happens when you're the brave soul, right? It kind of sucks because likely what you're going to point out as the problem is going to get you like ostracized. So you're going to be like, as I used to say, like the black sheep of the family, the one that nobody likes, or the one that this group of people don't like, or you fell out of favor with whoever, fill in the blank, mama, auntie, grandma, whoever, right? Because you're speaking your mind. And that becomes a very difficult thing to navigate. The fallout from the shame, right? You have not said a word yet. A word has not really been said to you yet. But you're just, let's walk with me on this. But you're right now in the space where you've identified that, okay, I'm the one that's gonna step up and like speak my mind about something that's wrong in my family, like the way that they judge people, or the way that they isolate certain members of the family, the way that they treat each other. They treat each other with such a lack of morality and principle. That's not loving at all, these things. And you're like, hey, I'm calling this on the carpet. And then the response is like negative towards you. Great. You're the brave soul. You are the one that is now likely going to be attempted. It may not work, but the shame is going to attempt to jump from them onto you. Now, did you catch what I just said? Because that's really key. Notice I said the shame is jumping from them. See that elder, that person, or that whomever that's trying to you know, trigger and agitate the shame in you, it's because they have shame. And it's not until you start recognizing that the people that you were entrusted to, be it your parents, grandparents, whomever, those people have shame too. And that their shame is not, it's not bigger than yours, it's not deeper than yours, it's just not any of those things, right? But the moment that you start to actually identify that what they are going through and why you feel so flustered and empty and anxious and misunderstood as it pertains to your family, it's because they have shame too. See, that's a game changer. And that, my dear lovies, is what takes us from the bad side of shame or the ugly side of shame to now the beautiful side of shame, right? So in the book, I talk about the voice, okay? And she's a powerful little thing. Let's just sum it up like that. I'm not giving you all the tea because you're going to have to go read the book. But she's a powerful little thing, the voice. And ultimately, she is yourself. That is your organic, amazing, by the way, self. See, I'm not talking about the thoughts that come out of your mouth after you've allowed something to ruminate in your mind for, I don't know, whatever your allotted time is. For me, it's about 10 seconds. For you, it might be 10 minutes. I don't know, right? But I'm not talking about that. That's not the voice. That's who you have grown to be. See, the voice is your authentic person. You know who does the voice impact? I mean, whew, without hitch, like perfect, right? If you ever want to see the voice in its perfect form, go watch a child. Any, any child, okay? Any child under 5 years old. Go watch a child under 5 years old and listen to the things that come out of their mouths, and you will see a little soul that is perfect in its synopsis and delivery of the world. See, personalities aren't formed and shaped, they're manipulated and watered down. You have been manipulated and watered down. See, you were who you were and who you are when you came out. You were born who you actually are. Okay? And what happens is um you're born this amazing, perfect being, just how you are, right? Fuck all of this rhetoric about no, you're this and that's and the other. And we could definitely delve into religious biases as far as, being born sinful and unclean. I ain't even, we touched on that last episode. I'm not going there because I don't personally believe that. And I don't personally believe that that is the basis or that there's any room for that kind of thinking in my particular relationship with God. Like, if God is my savior and if I can do all things through him who strengthens me, then how am I then going to believe that the one thing that I can't do is be good? Like that. If I can do all things, then how am I bad? Like, so, right. So we're not going there because it's confusing. Let's just keep it on what it's on, which is the fact that you are born this amazing, perfect being. You're born perfectly who you are. Okay. So what happens is you get watered down, you get manipulated, right? Um, School, family, outside influences, all of these things manipulate and water down who you are organically until you grow into now this bigger version of yourself, this adult, and you're going, it may look good on the surface, but deep down inside, I really don't know who the hell I am because I have not practiced utilizing my voice in its most authentic form because I'm so used to suppressing it because of shame. So then there lies the problem, right? So the other side of the bad side of shame is the good side of shame. And see, the good side is when you take shame that's been bad and you just start using it for your good. It sounds really crazy, and it likely sounds out of reach for some of you right now. But I assure you that as the days grow along and you continue to live, you will start to utilize your shame in a positive way. See, shame is one of our biggest markers for change. When you are ashamed about something, of course, it creates what everybody's bumbling about now. It creates a limiting belief. And that limiting belief it has the trajectory of your life in a chokehold. It holds it. And the more life goes on and you get bogged down by the decisions that you've made and the reactions or consequences of those decisions, you start to realize one of two things. Either A, that you have no control over anything and you just succumb to the pressures of life, which is likely going to make you miserable. Or B, which is my personal favorite, is that every single thing in your orbit, in your existence, is under and maintained by your control and your decisions. And that when something does not organically align with who you are and what you want for your life, you have the right to say no more. You have the right to take bad situations. See, that obviously number two is the one that I love, right? Because you absolutely have the right to take a life that does not feel good to you and anything that's favorable within that life that does not feel good to you. You have the right to take it and say, fuck this. I'm making another decision. I don't care what it is, if it is your relationship with your family, if it is your marriage, if it's your career, if it is your body and the way that it looks and feels and behaves for you. Anything that you don't like is your sole responsibility to change, and you can change it. You don't need, $1 million worth of gurus and classes and all of this, that's, and the other to change it. Here, I'm finna give you the game about this shit for free. Okay? Anything in your life you don't want to change, just make a different decision. Boom, that's it. See, you ain't got to go to no empowerment seminars, you ain't got to listen to 50 hours of webinars and all this old bullshit and manifest this and that and other. No, you don't. All you have to do is make a different decision. Now, understand it's going to come with some fallout. No matter what, it's going to come with some fallout. You can't just make the decision. You got to work after that. You got to do something. But the reality is that that is what orchestrates the change. Now, shame wants you to believe that that is not true. And you know who is the manifestation, like who is actually in your face with their words telling you that is not true. You cannot change your life and you cannot make better decisions for your life. It's likely that same damn family that we talking about. And see, really what they really should be and would be saying to you if they were in a more real place with themselves is that no, they couldn't change their life. So it's not that you can't change your life, it's how dare you change your life. Don't do that because I couldn't do it. So don't do that. That's really what they want to say to you, right? But the truth of the matter is that, yes, you can change your life and the trajectory of your life or any decision that does not align organically with who you are. Remember that little person that came out? That's who you are. That's who you are. That is the person. Now, if you have lost sight of that person, if you don't feel comfortable with who that person is, well, see, then listen, honey, that's where the work goes, because that's where we need to get back to. We need to revert back to our 5-year old selves, our 3-year olds, or whatever, so that we can go back to who we are organically, and then work from there and start to make the decisions from there. You see how that works in life, right? So quick story time. Take nothing from this, okay, y'all? Take nothing from this. I love my child. Love my child. I was 29 years old when I gave birth to him. I purposely had not had any children before that. And the truth of the matter is that I wasn't even, I wasn't even thinking about kids. I didn't, I, everyone else in my family had this goal of marriage and children. Not me. I had a goal of traveling the world, being at every single fabulous party. I never really wanted a husband. I wanted like not brother husbands, you know what I mean, but just like my lay of the land. I just like, I just, it's something about a man, his energy that just, ooh, it's just everything. But I don't just want him forever. I just want him when I want him. Then he can go on about his business. See, that's me. It's some of y'all judging me right now. I know. You think I can't see you? I can see you. Okay. But I don't care because that is who I am organically, right? Traveling and a big, beautiful life. I don't just want a group of friends. I want to be everybody's friend until I don't like you. And then, like I told you before, you gonna know, right? But my life was just always made to be big and beautiful and fabulous and opulent and amazing. It was never supposed to be the monotony and the mundane and the ordinary. Never. Never. You know how it got to be that? It's not that now, but it was that for a long period of time. And do you know what landed me there? Shame. Because I was listening to my mother and my grandmother and all these women that did not have and didn't have any, like, they not only didn't have the life that I wanted, they didn't have anything even close to it, right? Nothing even close. They had nothing that I aspired to, but I was listening to them tell me what my life should be. And that's how I landed in a life that I did not want. That and the shame. Shame kept me there for sure. It landed me there and it kept me there for sure. So people say, oh my God, well, I went through this so that you didn't have to. So listen, that's a cautionary tale for you. Okay. If here, quick tidbit of advice for you all. If the person that's giving you the advice does not have what you are aspiring to have, do not listen to them. Now, of course, be respectful, but it's like taking financial advice or wealth building advice from a broke person. That doesn't make sense. That this person does not have the capacity to have what it is that you are aspiring to have. What kind of sense does that make? Right? You want to be a physician, but you're taking career advice um, from the janitor. Like, and that's no shot to janitors. Shout out to all the janitors in the world, but janitor and physician not the same. I mean, let's just keep it real, right? So shame will have you thinking that if you play by the rules, or if you do what the person is suggesting or telling you that you should do, that somehow you will be marked as being okay. Somehow you'll get the gold star. Somehow you'll get the green card. Not like an immigration green card, but remember how in kindergarten we used to get those little green cards, yellow card, with red card. She talks too much, whatever. Anyway, at least that was me. But anyway, somehow you'll be marked as okay if you play by this set of rules. Don't you know that's shame, right? So the other side of ugliness of shame is the beautiful side. The side that takes that ugliness and says, "Hey, there's something here that does not organically align with my spirit, with who I am. So, I need to take a step back. I need to stabilize myself so that I can think, and I need to go forward with what organically works for me and what I need." And that, dear loves, is going to require those keywords there: stabilizing yourself, which means getting yourself to a point of safety. I remember talking to friends, and I remember I was in a therapy session once, and I was talking to my, before I got to the therapy session, I was talking to my friends, and they were like, you know, "You're being abused. You need to go to therapy." And I was like, "I am? Oh, shit. I didn't even know." So then I went to therapy. And the therapist was like, "So tell me what brought you here, blah, blah, blah." So I was just, nonchalantly telling her what was going on in my life. And she took her glass, she had glasses, and she took her glasses off. And she sat up and she was like, "Sweetheart, do you understand that you're being abused?" And I was like, "No." And then she said, "Well, what's keeping you in this situation?" And I said, "Well, we have a kid, blah, blah, blah," whatever I gave her. And I remember saying to her, "I don't know. He just makes me feel safe." And then she said, "Is that before, after, or during times when he is humiliating you and making you feel low beneath the ground?" And that stuck with me. That still It still makes me emotional to this day when I remember that session, that conversation when she said that. Meaning, how can a person make you feel safe when they're the one causing the harm? Whew. Y'all see what that shame will do? It'll do it to you every single time. So it wasn't until I learned that safety was never going to come from another person, that real safety that I needed to feel inside only came from me. It wasn't until I learned that and accepted it as my truth that my perspective on myself and my life began to drastically change and exponentially improve. So, That is the beginning of turning shame around for your benefit. That's where it starts. When you can start looking at your choices, your thoughts, where they're coming from, start saying, wait a minute, this doesn't work for me. Let me get myself together here, and let me figure out why this is not working for me, right? Because you may not always know in that moment. You just have identified that something's wrong because that pain, that trauma is bubbling up. That stomach getting tight. You know, or that back is getting achy. Like whatever it is, wherever your trauma starts, it's bubbling up. So you like, hold up, something is wrong. Okay, burp. Let me put the brakes on that skirt. Let me bounce. Right. Let me get to where I am safe, which is when I am grounded, when my surroundings are solid. I don't feel fearful, which is when I can think in a space where I'm uninterrupted, where I can feel free to do so. See, these are all the things that make me feel safe. You take those safe moments, you figure out, why is this not aligning with my spirit? Why do I feel so crazy right now? What's going on? And then you form your plan of how to correct what it is that shame's ugly side availed you to, right? So let's put it into a real world scenario, and then we'll park it on market. Uh so you are having a discussion with mom, and we all know that discussions with mom are so wonderful and so amazing, but they can also be so volatile, so harmful, and so debilitating for us, right? So you don't exactly know which of these things it's gonna be, but you're just in the discussion. So because you've had discussions with her previously where it has turned bad or weird, and it has left you harmed, you're apprehensive. Apprehensive. And here comes that pain. Here comes that trauma body poking at you, jabbing you in the side, jabbing you in the back. It's in your legs, it's in your belly, wherever it's at. Here it come, right here it come, just jumping on your little nerves. Okay, and perfectly normal conversation. You know, how are you? What's going on in your life? You're answering. You're like, "How are you, mom?" and whatever, because you are kind and beautiful and smart, and that is what you do. You handle people with poise and grace because that's who you are, right? And then she just start going in at your ass. Oh well, you need to be doing this and you need to be doing that. Well, I just don't want you to be alone. I don't want to, and this and the, and she starts really just attacking every single life choice that you made, basically. Um, and saying and doing everything but being positive and encouraging. In her mind, she thinks she is being positive and encouraging, but how it is translating to you is she's judging you. She's really ostracizing you from having a very vulnerable relationship with her because she's so overbearing. She's damaging you because she is certainly mangling your sense of safety and security. You weren't necessarily expecting that. That's why you were talking to her. You thought you were safe there, but you're not. And she's just going in. And on some varying degree, we've all, or the majority of us, have experienced this with our mothers at some time. Her trauma starts to dance with yours. And we get stopped like a deer in headlights. Like we absolutely get stopped when mom's trauma starts to dance with your trauma. Because who are we Like, how do we succumb to this? Who are we protecting here? Are we protecting mom and her trauma, or are we protecting ourselves and our trauma? Are we protecting both of us or are we just not protecting any damn body? And if we're being very honest, she ain't helping. Moms ain't helping with none of this. This is what you're trying to navigate through as she's just completely going in on you, and she's not helping with any of this. She's not stopping to think that, well, I hear my child saying, okay, mom, I see my child visibly getting angry and upset or becoming anxious at my behavior, but I'm just going to keep on going anyway. She's just going to keep on doing what she's doing. She doesn't care. And it's not that she really doesn't care, it's that she doesn't realize what she's doing. So now you're in it. And I mean, you're knee deep in it. You might be in tears at this point. You damn sure enough are frustrated because she is making you all of those things: anxious, furious. She's making you feel harmed, panic, broken, all these things. All these things. That, my dear lovies, is the ugly side of shame. Now, what you do in that moment is going to determine, or in these next moments, pardon me, what you do in these next moments is going to determine your level of breakthrough, how well you use your voice, and the level of love and honor that you have for yourself. If you put those things in the pot, stir it up, put little seasonings on it, those things make the beautiful side of shame. So, we're going to stop here because next time we're going to talk about the beautiful side of shame. Now, remember, in the meantime, send me your questions, send me your feedback, send me everything. Definitely follow us on Instagram so you'll know when podcasts are dropping. Do not forget to cop your copy of Talks with Her About Family with the little hot pink cover. So cute. But the reading the book will help you exponentially to really dig deep and really like immerse in what we're talking about here on the podcast. It's gonna do nothing but help you. And I purposely wrote the series of Talks with Her books in very short form because I don't want you to have to read through like 200 pages to get a breakthrough. That wasn't the point of Talks with Her and building this community. The point is to get your minds to start thinking about how some of this stuff is like bullshit. And then we start strategizing together on how to move forward. Y'all get it? I know y'all do. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we're going to break here from now. And I love you, but I don't love you as much as you should love yourselves. You are smart, powerful, strong, and amazing. I don't give a shit what they tell you. Tell them I said that. Now, go be those things, and we'll talk soon. Bye, lovies.